Welcome to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. We have a panel of beautiful women from all over our wonderful continent, and they've come to share with you about some of the real issues that take place in our lives. If you want to get engaged in our conversation, please log on to our website, www.ecdadventist.org, and click on Women Engage. You'll be able to raise questions, join in the discussion, make comments. We hope that you get engaged with our discussion. So I'm going to introduce myself, and I'm going to ask the ladies to tell us something about themselves today. I'm going to ask you to tell us one thing, tell us your name, and tell us if I gave you just a sack full of money, you can fill it with as much money as you like, but you had to spend it today, right now, what would you buy? So I'll start with myself. My name is Jocelyn Isabidie. If you gave me a sack full of money right now, I would go and buy a beautiful house for me and my husband, and I would buy property for each of my children.
My name is Debbie Maloba, and I'm from Democratic Republic of Congo. With that money, I would have bought a beautiful house, but also have some business that will help me when I'm old with my husband, and also that will keep or sustain the life of my children. But don't forget, I will also help those who are in need.
And now I feel like I should say mine again. Okay, all right, let's go.
I'm Angela Wama. If you are to give me such money, I will first of all give myself a treat by going for holidays somewhere, and then do some investment, and then have some to help the needy.
Okay.
My name is Caroline Corelli. I'm from Mauritius. And if I had that money, I would make all the children smile for this Christmas. And I would buy an island.
Oh, wow.
My name is Knight. I'm from Kenya. If I'd have such kind of money, I'd use it to make a difference, maybe put up a foundation or a charity of sorts. And I'd also use it on some investment, probably buying a property. Yeah.
My name is Yetunde Odeyemi. If I lay my hands on such money, knowing that I'm not good with budgeting, but there's a dream I've always had, and that's the fact that I would use that money to start a cloth line and get women to be properly dressed, and get girls especially to dress tastefully when they're coming out.
Wow. Wow. Well, today our topic is women and money. And it's interesting hearing all your responses. And yeah, I do feel like I want to say mine again. But it looks like money represents different things to us. So like from the responses that we gave, what does money represent to us? I talked about, having a house. So I think for me, money is security. Knowing that I'm secure in my retirement, we have a home, we have security for my children, they have a home. So I would say money is security. What else is money? What does it represent?
I'd say money is a blessing because I'd use it to bless others. It's a blessing.
Good.
Yes.
Anything else? Money is?
I think money is a tool to be used, like something you send on errands. Yes. I grew up in a setting where I got to know that you don't have to be a slave to money. Don't let it control you. But if you have money, use it as a tool to better the lives of others and better your own life as well. Because you cannot be promoting help to other people when you are not showing it, it's not reflecting in the way you use it. So there's no need having a headache about not having enough money. Rather, there is a need to say, no matter how small it is, I can portion it out and it can still work for me and still work for somebody else.
Okay.
I would say money is a means I use to satisfy my need. My needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, it's not just our needs, but sometimes even our wants.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you don't need to have a clothesline. You don't need to give yourself a treat. But sometimes I want to give myself a treat.
Yes.
It's nice to do something nice for myself, not because I need it, but because I want it. So it's also a tool to provide for my wants as well as my needs.
Yes.
Okay.
I may also say that money is one of the ways that determine my future, my well-being. Because without money, without controlling it, I will never be able to satisfy what I need in the future or what I want to be in the future.
Okay.
Yes.
You talk about controlling money. What do you mean? How do you control money?
To use it wisely.
You use it wisely. Okay. So can money control us?
Yes.
Yes.
And how does it do that?
I was going to say money. I don't want to be a slave to money, but it would help me not to be a slave.
Okay, so it will help you not to be a slave.
Yeah.
To work. for
Okay, to
example.
work. Oh, I like that. It will help you not to be a slave to
To
work.
someone else.
To someone else.
Yes.
Okay. So how can I keep myself then from being a slave to money?
I don't focus on money,
Okay.
but use it wisely, like Debbie said. Control money.
Okay.
I don't really budget, like Yetunde said she's bad at, but I use money wisely.
Isn't that budgeting in a way?
Not really.
Not
Budgeting is
necessarily.
you plan,
Yes.
you write down. I used to do it
Yes.
when I didn't have money. In fact, you budget when you know it's scarce and you know you have to use it wisely, but you just, use it wisely without sitting down, budgeting, writing down,
Okay.
knowing how much to spend this month.
So what if I don't have money? Or if I don't feel like I have enough money? How can I use what I don't have?
I think the word is contentment. When you are content, it's not going to be about the size or the quantity of money you have, like Carol is saying. It's going to be about the fact that if this comes, then I know what I'm going to do with it. And that helps you not to be a slave to it. When you are not content, you get to be enslaved by money because you don't sleep, you don't eat right, you don't do things properly because you are anxious about this money is too little, is not going to do something for me.
Yeah.
I'm not the best person with budgeting for a very long time. I grew up like that. And my dad used to say, I pray you get a man who understands you. Because if I have money, for me, it has to be spent. It has to be spent on the things that I think I should use it for right now. And my dad says, but you are not keeping some. You need to keep some. You need to have an account. And when I got married, God helped me. I found one man who could understand that this girl is not able to budget, and so he does the budgeting on my behalf.
Okay.
Until I came to the mission field. When I got to the mission field, I didn't have a job. And so I didn't have a salary. And so there was nothing to plan on, and my husband was amazed because he gave me the ATM card and he said, just go once in a while, you spend something. But I'm not going to the office, I'm not going anywhere. So I didn't have to buy new clothes, I didn't have to do anything. I was content with what I had to spend at home. To do the grocery for the home, yes, I could. But I didn't have to go and shop and roam around and say I'm shopping for clothes. And so I think contentment is the word. When you are content, it's not about how big or how small or how little you have. Like Carol said, you just do it within the means of what you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So interestingly, you've talked about your husband and you're getting married and at some point he was working and you're not working. And I think as married women, one thing that sometimes can bring a bit of tension is money. And it is actually said that money is a very big factor in relationships, and particularly in relationship breakups, the finances. So how do you deal with it? Is it our money, your money, my money? In a married kind of relationship, whose money is it? Is it mine? Is it yours? Is it ours?
We've always, sorry, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, if both are working and are earning that money,
Yeah.
it's both
What if I'm working and he's not working?
Okay. Well, with our African culture,
Yeah.
it is expected that the man should, earn the money.
Okay, so what
and
happens?
the woman supports.
So what happens in my African culture when that doesn't happen? What happens when it could be that my husband is laid off work? It could be that my husband has become sick and cannot work for whatever reason. I'm working and he's not.
Well, it's still our money.
It's still our money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's still our money.
It's our money.
Yeah, when I want to live in harmony in our family with my husband, my children, my relatives, my community, we need to call it our money. We need to put in mind that whatever we get, let us decide together. Let us work together. Let us plan together so that it will help us to live in harmony. Because if I let money control me, I will never be satisfied. Yes.
It's interesting because Debbie talked about money never being enough. The wise man said in Ecclesiastes, he said, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what is enough money, how to manage money, and maybe even, think about considerations for even unmarried women and what they should be thinking about in terms of how to manage their money when we come back after our commercial break. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. So, just before our break, we were talking about a situation where maybe your husband isn't working. Because like Angela said, in our African society, it's expected that the man should work and support the family. So let's start with that expectation. Is it fair in this day and age? Is it a fair expectation that the woman, the man works and earns? Is that fair? Let's start from there. Yes, Yetunde.
I think there are circumstances that come up in life where the man loses his job, he gets laid off, and the woman is working. And I have examples of women like that, and I tell you, I doff my hat for them. From these women I have met, they never would say it out. They buy clothes, put on the man. Put money in his hands and say, if you need to go out with your friends, even when there's a family function, they stand in and they say, you just take this money and go do the needful things in your family. And you would never hear it from them. I think those are the real women. Because those circumstances would also get to change later. The man may not get a regular job after, but he would still have to be the father in the home. Yes, the African society expects that the man would be the one to earn the money. But I tell you, there are 1,001 women out there who earn more than their husbands, who we call the breadwinners, and we say the husbands are the soup winners. Yet it has not made them less of men, neither has it made them less of married women. So I think it's the maturity of the individual. We must understand that times change. If the time changes and it is the man who is earning less, please don't disrespect him, because the basis for marrying, after all, it's not about the love and the holding and the romance. It's about the respect you have for each other. So if you base it on the respect, whatever the circumstances that comes, if the man is not able today, you stand in and be the strong woman. Be the one to stand in and be the face of the home. And put the money in his hands and let him act the way he would have acted if he had a salary.
Okay. All right. So respect.
Yes.
And love and all of that as well. Now, what if you have put the money in his hand and he's irresponsible with it? Or even in her hand, because you talked about you didn't know how to budget. And so you married a man who understood you and accepted you the way that you were. And you said that when you started, before you started working, your husband would give you his card, but you realized you didn't really need much because you weren't working. What if your husband gave you that ATM card and you just went and blew everything on the budget at the beginning of the month on new clothes and new shoes, even though you didn't need it.
I should
And
pack my things and go back to my father's house. If I do that, yeah. I agree that some men are irresponsible. I'm not saying all men, please. And when you look at it, the man does not stand up to be irresponsible out of the blues. It's about the ego of the men. Men live by their ego. And so anything that hurts their ego, they tend to take it the other way. And so if the man is irresponsible, permit me to use an example. I know a woman whose husband went irresponsible. You know what she did? She moved out. She moved out and she took 5 kids with her. And she said, I'm not going to let this man continue like this. He comes home, beats her up, takes the money from her. It was before the days of M-Pesa. And so she moved out. Today she's able to stand by her own. She's able to send her children through school, through the merry-go-round system, where she joins a group of 50 women and everybody contributes some amount of money. So I would not say the woman should stay and continue to be abused. No.
Is that abuse, though? If we're not talking about a man who you said he would come home drunk and beat his wife. I think that's something. But we're just talking about the responsible use of money. So you have a man, he does not beat you, he does not abuse you, he does not cheat on you, but he just doesn't know how to make money. He doesn't know how to use money in a responsible way. So are you going to pack up your kids and move out of the house?
I think it's still an emotional distress.
I think you have to learn this before marrying a guy.
How do you learn that then?
By knowing there are some principles when you're dating someone.
Yeah.
To know whether he's right for me, to pray on him, and to know. It's just to know before. I think it's very important to know before you get married how he manages money. You'll see. You'll see. He'll come and tell you, you know, I'm broke and I borrow. How can you borrow from your girlfriend?
What if he doesn't have?
No, but you'll know. 1 time is okay.
Yes.
2 times. 3 times. Hey, there's something wrong there.
So what do you say then to the young woman who's watching this program right now, and she's not married, and she's, you know, looking to start a relationship? So should she make sure she gets a man who is set?
Learn to stand on your own feet. Learn to save when you start working. My parents, I think, gave me that good example of setting aside money, you know, of saving money. Even when I started working, not having any boyfriend, I opened a bank account. I think I learned to, what if I never get married? I have to go in life, have to reach something. So I think to the young woman, I would say, learn to stand on your feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also when you are married, because you can't also predict. Maybe what you need to do also is to, the way you are behaving. When you are married, you are open and you collaborate, you cooperate with your husband. Finally, he will admit and he will come, because you need also to help him. If he spend money without planning, as a wife, you need also to help him, to be open, because it is very important to have a healthy marriage. That includes also finances.
Yeah.
So you are open and you share, you give advices, you will also help him. Yeah.
Jocelyn, can we be real with what you're saying? What you have described is a lazy man. I would not encourage any young girl to marry a lazy man. Carol says it, that at the time when you are dating, you have time to study this man and see how he does. He takes you out to eat today for lunch, for something, and he says, oh, I forget my card. Pay. Second time, it happens the same way. And you sit back and you say, no, but he loves me. 3rd time, it happens the same way. And then you go ahead, he comes one day and he says, you know, for some reason I can't pay my house rent. What is that? That's a lazy man. That's a man who does not want to do anything for himself. I quite agree that a woman should be hardworking.
Yes.
And I admire hardworking women. A woman should learn to save money. I agree. A woman should be very open in her marriage. Tell the husband things. His money, my money is our money. It's meant for the good of everybody. The things, I'm sure the things each one of us here does on behalf of the family with our money. We don't go back and tell your husband to say, I have helped this way, you give me back my money. No, we don't do such things. But when a man is lazy,
Okay.
the pen of inspiration says, do not marry a lazy man. Yes.
What's the difference between a man who's lazy and a man who's poor?
He will show you he's struggling.
Okay.
But that lazy man, oh, please. It's obvious. He doesn't want to pay, like we are saying. One time is okay, second time, well, it's still love. You're blinded by
Yes.
love. Third time, I think you veil.
You should remove the
Yeah,
veil.
remove the veil.
So, but if he's, I want to really understand this for the sake of our young women. Okay, you said that it's different, but how am I going to tell the difference? How do I tell that? You know, if he honestly doesn't have. He
Yeah,
doesn't have.
but did you notice the word Carol used?
What was that?
He struggles.
Yes.
He's a struggling man.
He's trying.
Yes, he's
Okay.
trying. That
Yes.
does not mean he will not make it someday.
Yes.
But you can see his efforts.
Okay, what kind of things should this young woman look for? What signs? He's a poor guy, but you can see he has potential. What kind of things do you look out for? He doesn't have a lot of money. He can't take you out. He can't buy you expensive gifts.
Yeah.
But then what kind of things do you look out for to know that he's got the potential to be a responsible man with his money? What do you look out for then?
Sometimes you'll notice probably the lazy man will come, no money, but with a big bouquet.
Okay.
The
Yes.
struggling one,
Yes.
he'll come with one rose.
Yes.
And that's love.
Yes.
And sometimes being poor is being honest.
Honorable.
Yes.
Poor is honest. He'll
Yes.
say, you know, I don't have.
Yes.
And then some men will even say, you know, I earn this. I don't know if you want to have a future with me, but that's all I can offer. So you see whether love will take you to have a future with a struggling man.
Yeah.
And many a times that struggling man will be blessed. And you don't know what God has in the future.
Yeah.
He'll be blessed, like, you know.
So we're not judging the men by their size of their wallet, but by their how they are responsible in dealing with life's issues. Yeah.
Jocelyn, how
Yes.
about for those young ladies who are maybe probably just blinded with love? They're not able to decipher whether this man is actually responsible with his money, as you'd asked earlier on. You know, the man is pretending, and he or she then and ends up getting married to this person. I think the thing that is left is just to help. At the point now that you're now together, you're married, you help.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could ask ourselves another question. What if you're now in the marriage and you're both unable to, you're not good with money,
Yeah.
you see? Yeah.
If you're both not good, because
Yes.
everything that we've been saying, it's the irresponsible man.
Yes.
We also have irresponsible women.
Yes.
We can be very irresponsible as well with the way that we manage our finances, and so we both need help. So if I am in that situation where either both of us or one of us or I am irresponsible with my finances, what can I do to get help? To help me to know how to manage my money better? Because I think we agree it's important, but what do I do? How do I do that?
There are some men who let their wives, you know, do whatever. I don't think this is right. Be together. Do everything together. Because some women I know, some of my close friends, they would spend, they want this, they want that couch, they want everything to be perfect, and they are not even working.
Yeah.
The man is the breadwinner, and he just, you know, lays back until he goes into debt.
Yes.
And that's not a wise woman.
No.
Also.
Angela.
Yeah, you know, the mindset we grew up with is that the men are the key financial decision makers. And so with that mindset, you know, we grew up that way, knowing that the man should be the key financial decision maker. But it's not always the case. Sometimes the lady is the better person.
Yes.
But there is something that is key when in marriage. The man and the woman need to deliberately build an emergency fund. Emergency fund that will help them. Somehow, it's not something we pray for.
But if something happens.
In case of something
Yeah.
happens, the man may lose his job or the lady may lose her job.
Yeah.
Divorce, that may be divorce, or you may also lose your spouse, maybe through death. Yeah, so it is important that the couple builds an emergency fund. Even within the crisis where maybe the man is the one who is not good with handling money, it is still advisable that the one who is better off makes a deliberate effort to ensure that there is an emergency fund.
Okay, well, we've run out of time on this really interesting topic, but I think we can take inspiration from the woman of Proverbs chapter 31. You know, that woman who we all aspire to be someone who helps in a very practical way to keep our family stable. So money is a gift we've learned this evening. It's a blessing that comes from God, and it's a tool that we can use to meet our own needs, but also to bless others. But let's not become slaves to money, but allow ourselves to use our money to glorify God and to be a blessing to others. We hope that you will join us next time on Women Engage, where we will continue to talk about real issues with real women.